wrestling world is still buzzing from the unexpected chaos that followed WWE's Saturday night main event. What was supposed to be a thrilling, high-stakes match between two major superstars, Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens, turned into something far more dramatic. Cody Rhodes successfully defended his undisputed WWE Championship, but the real story came after the bell rang. Owens, clearly frustrated after the loss, unleashed a brutal attack on Rhodes, hitting him with a piledriver that left the champion motionless in the ring. The shocking turn of events didn't stop there. Owens found himself in a heated confrontation backstage with none other than Triple H, WWE's chief content officer, sparking a fiery exchange that has left fans and analysts scratching their heads. So what happens next? Will Triple H punish Owens for his outburst? What consequences will the prizefighter face for his post-match actions? In this segment, we'll take a step back and attempt to untangle the complex motivations behind Owens' actions and explore why we might want to rethink judging him too harshly. Could there be more to this moment than just a frustrated wrestler losing his cool? The story between Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes had been brewing for months. On one side, we have Cody Rhodes, a champion who's a fan favorite, carrying the coveted, undisputed WWE Championship. For Cody, the title represents his hard work and the legacy of his famous family. On the other hand, you have Kevin Owens, a guy who spent his entire career showing the world that he's not just another wrestler, but a force to be reckoned with, a mastermind who's more than capable of taking anyone down. Despite Owens' incredible athleticism and wrestling prowess, his career has been a roller coaster of personal rivalries and intense challenges. This wasn't just a title match between Owens and Rhodes. It was about something deeper, something more personal. Owens had spent months trying to prove that he wasn't just another challenger or a stepping stone in the grand narrative of WWE. No, Owens had his sights set on tearing down the so-called American dream that Cody represented and building a legacy of his own. Meanwhile, Cody wasn't just defending a championship. He was defending his family's honor, his legacy, and the loyalty of the fans who had been with him from the start. The stakes were high, and the match was intense. Both men fought with everything they had, but only one could walk out with the title. Cody hit his signature crossroads, the referee made the count, and the crowd erupted in celebration as the bell rang. But that's when things took a wild turn. It's easy to say that Owens just snapped because he lost. But if we take a closer look at what was going on in his mind, we might see something deeper than just a bad sport throwing a tantrum. Owens didn't just lose a match, he lost everything he'd been fighting for. This wasn't just about the championship. This was about proving to himself and to everyone watching that he could be the top guy, the one to take down the untouchable American dream. For months, Owens had been on a mission to prove that he wasn't just a mid-carder or a guy who was happy to challenge for a title and lose. He wanted to be more. He wanted to show that he could dethrone a symbol of hope like Cody Rhodes and build a legacy that was entirely his own. But when the match ended, Owens couldn't quite pull it off. It wasn't just a loss in the ring. It felt like a personal defeat. Like all the blood, sweat, and tears he'd poured into this battle meant nothing. Maybe Owens felt betrayed. Not by Cody, but by the reality that despite everything he gave, he still couldn't achieve his goal. That's when the emotional weight of the moment hit him. That's where Owens' actions begin to make a little more sense. In wrestling, the line between right and wrong isn't always as clear as it seems. Sometimes, emotions get the best of you. And in the heat of the moment, Owens didn't just want to hurt Cody. He wanted to make a statement. He wanted to remind the WWE Universe and even Triple H that he was still in control of his destiny. That's why he hit Cody with the piledriver, a move that packs a punch, not just physically, but symbolically. It wasn't just a finishing move. It was a way for Owens to remind everyone that even in defeat, he could still cause chaos and demand attention. But the wildest part came next. Owens grabbed the Winged Eagle Championship and stood proudly with it on the ramp. For many, this was an ultimate sign of disrespect. But to Owens, it was about reclaiming control, a moment where he could remind everyone that he wasn't finished yet. He may have lost the undisputed WWE Championship, but for a brief second he felt like he was back on top. Enter Triple H, WWE's Chief Content Officer, a man who knows what it takes to survive at the top of the wrestling world. Triple H, watching from the back, saw Owens cross a line. As the authority figure, it was his job to make sure WWE remained a place of respect, a place where no one, no matter how powerful they are, is above the company. His confrontation with Owens wasn't just about discipline. It was about sending a message to the locker room. It was about reminding everyone that WWE is about more than just individual egos. It's about the brand. But here's the kicker. Triple H isn't exactly a stranger to crossing lines himself. After all, he's made a career out of playing the game, using ambition and ruthlessness to rise to the top. Triple H didn't become the game by always following the rules. He earned his legendary status by taking risks and making sure his ambitions never stood in the way of his ultimate goals. So when he punishes Owens for doing something that seems like a continuation of his own playbook, it's hard not to notice the irony. Was Owens really out of line, or was he simply following the same playbook that made Triple H a WWE icon? The backstage confrontation between Owens and Triple H was tense, but it also revealed something important about Owens' character. He didn't back down from the challenge. Instead, he fought back, symbolizing that he would not be controlled by authority. This wasn't a simple feud. It was a battle over identity. Owens wasn't just trying to make a point to Triple H or the WWE Universe. He was fighting for control over his own fate. As always, the WWE Universe is divided. Some fans see Owens as the villain in this story, a guy who let his temper get the best of him. But others see him as someone who's finally breaking free from the traditional hero versus villain narrative and embracing his true self. Owens has been a fan favorite for years, but his actions at Saturday night's main event signaled a shift. This wasn't about just titles or championships anymore. This was Owens taking control of his own narrative and proving that he's not just another wrestler. He's the guy who can shake things up and remind everyone that anything can happen in the world of WWE. For those of us who support Kevin Owens, it's important to understand that what happened wasn't just a heel turn, it was an evolution of his character. Owens has been through a lot in his career, and when you push someone to their limits, there's only so much they can take before they fight back. What Owens did wasn't about seeking revenge. It was about making sure his voice was heard. He's no longer the underdog fighting for respect. He's the guy who is willing to take what he believes is his, no matter the cost. Another major factor in Owens' actions was his relationship with Sami Zayn. Over the course of their careers, the two have been inseparable, but that bond began to fray in recent months. Owens' decision to betray Zayn was a big part of what led to his post-match actions. While Owens might not have betrayed Zayn out of pure malice, his actions were about ensuring his future in WWE. Sometimes you have to make difficult decisions, and Owens was willing to cut ties with his former friend if it meant securing his own spot at the top. The price of greatness can often come with sacrifices, and Owens was willing to pay it. The next chapter in Owens' story is already unfolding. On Monday Night Raw, Triple H set up a gauntlet match where Owens will face 3 of WWE's toughest competitors, with his career hanging in the balance. The pressure is on, and it's unclear whether Owens can survive this challenge or if his time in WWE will come to an end. But one thing's for sure, Kevin Owens won't go down without a fight. No matter the outcome, Owens' future in WWE remains uncertain. But if he can make it through this gauntlet match, he'll not only redeem himself in the eyes of the WWE Universe, but he'll also prove that he's more dangerous than ever before. He's no longer the man who lets things slide. Owens is the guy who will take whatever it takes to get to the top, and he's not about to let anyone stop him. In the end, Kevin Owens' actions at Saturday night's main event might have been extreme, but they came from a place of deep frustration and motivation. They were driven by a desire for respect and a need to prove himself in WWE. Owens isn't just fighting for championships, he's fighting for his place in WWE history. And as his story unfolds, one thing is clear. Kevin Owens is no longer someone who can be controlled. He's the man in charge of his own destiny. And whether you love him or hate him, his future in WWE is bound to be one of the most unpredictable and thrilling chapters yet.